Alright, I'm back. It took Unity quite a while to load everything up, but that's alright. Okay, so this is Twitch interactive card game. Basically, well, it's based on the card game called Concentration, and how it works is there's a grid of cards, and they're placed all face down, and you guess if a certain card... Oh, well, every card has a pair, and so you want to try to find the pair. And so when it's your turn, you guess 2 cards, and if you guess wrong, they're revealed, and then the cards are placed back face down. But if you guess correctly, which I didn't right there, then the cards stay revealed, and you get a point. So you kind of want to remember what cards have been shown where. And you can use points to, in this game, well, it's Twitch interactive in a few ways. First off, the logos, we're going to use like users' avatar logos as the faces for the cards. Second, users will actually vote on which cards to reveal. And third, users will be able to spend points that they win to affect the rules of the game or make their cards look special or something like that. So I think it will be pretty fun. So right now, I had just gotten a list of followers because we've been trying for a while to figure out how to download a list of followers from Twitch. And unfortunately, it was a bit more complicated than expected because I was thinking that Twitch would give me a notification when I get a new follower, but unfortunately you don't. So what I need to do instead is we have to download the follower list basically whenever we need to know the followers, which the only time is when we're about to pick user logos, as far as I can think of. If we ever need to know if somebody's following besides that, we'd have to download the whole list. So I don't really want to do that too much just because it puts strain on Twitch. But so basically, what phase do we download the user logo, our user logos? That's the the phase setup game. So what I need to do is put a command to download followers when we have the setup game instead, because right now we download followers when the stream goes up, because I was thinking that we'd have to keep the list up to date ourselves by listening to events, but unfortunately you can't do that. So what that also means, well, I guess we don't really need to worry about it, but we also have to clear the system of followers and then apply the new followers. So okay. So this list does want to listen for this event. But it also needs to wait until... Well, do I really want to worry about removing followers at the moment? I don't know how often that's going to happen. Let's see. So right now... this wait for request setup asks for the follower list, but really this doesn't have to do that right now. Okay, well actually I forgot to update this, because this should have been waiting for the followers to be downloaded before it transitioned to the next phase, but it just transitions immediately because we don't do any other list downloads. So we will actually use this for, I guess this was kind of my fault, this whole issue, because in order to get a list of viewers, you have to download the list, but it's not really very up to date. So what you do is you download the list and then you use events to kind of keep track of who's viewing and not, because you can get events through chat when someone leaves or enters the chat room, but you can't do that for followers as far as I know, which is... But wait, wasn't there, now that I think about it, on the chat bot, wasn't there a follow? I thought there was chat client on... Okay, no, there's not one. I thought there was one that told you when he got a follow message, but I guess there's no way to do it. So yeah, I did do some research yesterday, so I'll trust myself on that. Anyway, so this wait request setup is going to do nothing for now, because used to it would request the follower list, but that isn't going to happen anymore. So I need to move that code to the game setup. What is it? So pre-game lobby setup, and then yeah, it used to be create board, but I changed it to setup game. So I think I'll setup game setup. Sounds a bit strange, but spell it override. So on create, and then we'll want to get the archetype, because we have to create a request object or entity. And then we just add it to the buffer. Okay, and so I can get rid of this. Alright, so how should I do this? So this can go, but then we need to wait to do tile pair randomization, because we don't know how many logos we have yet. Because in order to figure that out, we have to know how many users. But I guess I'll leave that for now, because we haven't downloaded logos yet. Okay, so what uses this? This is the tile pairer. So what it does, just trying to see when it picks the pairs. So yeah, this is pairing tiles, and then there's another worker that assigns images. Might be better to separate those two ideas out, because they kind of are like separate algorithms, because the first one just pairs tiles and the other one assigns each pair an image. But the second part has to wait until we know images, but the first part doesn't care about images. So that might be the first thing I do. And then we also need to figure out, so we have to know how many images we need. And then basically we'd pick what images we want and then assign them to tiles, and then from there we can know which images we need to download. So, okay. So we have the tile pairer, and then I guess I'll create the tile image assigner. Okay, this can be a job component. I think the reason that I had done them all in the same file before was because I don't really store the pair information anywhere. So, do I want to have like tile pairs as an entity? And then just kind of temporary that we delete later because the actual game doesn't need to know the tile pairs, I don't think. That's just because they can figure that out from the tiles themselves. So how do we... That makes me wonder, how did I figure out if a tile was a pair? Guess picker. Okay, so this is match checker. So what this does... Yeah, so it just finds a specific tile based on the position and then checks to see if the images are the same. So we don't really need to have... Because another way we could do this, if we had tile pairs as their own entity, is we would basically do the same thing, but we'd loop through every tile pair to see if the indexes were equal to the specific featured guess. So yeah, I don't think the game needs it, but it would be useful for the setup because this worker here can create the tile pairs, the tile pair entities, and then the image assigner can work on those generated pairs to give them their image. I guess another way... Another way is we could just have the tile pair assign like some number to the image, and then the actual associated image would be chosen later. Which is probably fine. I think let me see. Tile image, it's fine. Is this... So I think one thing I do right now is I have more images that are needed because I guess I assumed that you would download, that I would download like more images and then just pick from all the images that are downloaded for one. But really we don't need to, we can just download the images we need before each game. It's not like games are going to be lightning quick, so that won't be too bad on bandwidth. Okay, so that makes me wonder... This can stay, I guess. So, yeah, we'll have an entity for the tile face ID, but it just won't have any attached texture until we figure that out, I guess. Let me see. So I have this... Where's the test? There. So this test texture creator. So it creates a certain number of images, and then it gives it offset IDs because I was trying to make sure that the ID system worked. But I guess we want to get rid of this. So if I do this, then we can't play the game, but at the moment, but that's okay. So I can disable this just by turning off that mono behavior. Unity will load. There we go. Okay, so if I disable that, then there shouldn't be any images in the entity collection. Yeah, so that worked. So interestingly, the game lets you go through this far, even though there's no images. What are all these entities? Oh, they're users, okay. How does it still work if I try to guess? Yeah, no, I think it gets bogged down because the tiles don't actually have an image assigned to them. Although here has presented tile image. Oh yeah, this is actual tile. Okay, so yeah, the tile image is still there, but there's no. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. I should have named them better, I think. I wish I renamed these cards. I don't know why I decided to call it a tile, but so the user components, yeah, so this face ID, let's rename this do I want to just go and rename all these to tile or to cards? Actually, well, there's a few things there. I mean, it's probably silly. But I want to see, this is like tells you what image is on a tile, and then this tells you information about that tile face. So let's rename this to, like, I don't know, image on tile, or probably even better, okay. And then if I just, so we'll call that the tile face, and then the image will be what we have here. So yeah, the image will be what we call these entities that tell information about the specific image on the face or on the card. So this is actually a misnomer because it just has a color. So yeah, we'll want to associate it with a texture at some point. Okay, so basically every user will have a logo URL, and I'd like to kind of make the game not pick users that have the default logo, but I'm not sure how easy that will be, so I think I just won't worry about it right now. And I'd also kind of like to avoid picking users with the same logo, because that would make the game really confusing. But probably it might be a better way to do it is if I just have like a small dot in the corner of the card that's a specific image, like not image, like a color. So that way you would always know, like, even if the images are the same, that color dot on the top, it will be different. Oh. Yeah, it's almost 6 and my bitrate's dying again. I don't know, it seems to always happen at like 5:45. I need to figure out what's going on. But hopefully it will lighten up in a second. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about it. Anyways, we have this. This doesn't really have much to do with the users, so I think I'll move these image components into another file. Why not? Okay, so now back to tile pairer. I'm gonna, oh, why did it not update? that's not right. Oh, well, I copied the wrong thing over. This should be... Anyway, this is... Twitch memory. And this code... That's not what I wanted to copy. I wanted to get these classes. Okay. So I'm going to like be rewriting this class, but I want to make sure that I don't lose any data, so I'm going to just copy the whole thing to this image assigner class. Get rid of this, I guess. And I don't know why it doesn't like that, but basically I'm gonna comment out this whole block of code in case I need to use it later. I could also just use my version control, which I have set up, but and then I just implement the abstract class. Okay, and then I'm free to destructively edit this class, and all I want it to do is, yeah, it doesn't care about the images anymore. It's just going to assign pairs to tiles. Okay, so the only issue that I have is that, like, if a pair... Oh, I guess it's not an issue. I was gonna say, if there's a pair and we don't have enough images for each pair, then all I have to do is just assign the same image to 2 pairs. It doesn't really... Yeah, so this tile pair doesn't have to worry about that. Okay, so let me see. Really all I have to do is make this tile pair structure into entity or component. Okay, int tile A and tile B. I think I can get rid of that. We do need the random sequence. Don't need images, and we do need the buffer system. So yeah, we'll still just depend on that. Oh, I don't need the pair queue anymore, because all we do is create the entities. Although sometimes I still like to use the queue because the burst compiler still doesn't support the entity command buffer. So sometimes I'll just push stuff to a queue and then have it run the actual like algorithm in burst compiled code, and then another job that's not burst compiled will look through the queue and add it all to the entity command buffer. But let's just make things simple for now. Yeah, we don't need to deal with this. Okay, so this makes it even easier to have the dummy file assignment worker. But I guess for now I want to make sure that the real assigner works still. And so the rest of this is all about assigning the images. Looks like dropped so many frames I actually disconnected. Okay. Maybe I should just end the stream, because I'm not even online on Twitch. I guess I'll do that. So all I'm gonna do now is okay, well, I could come back online. I have a couple minutes, so I hope to fix this, or finish up this class at least. I don't know why my internet always has to go out towards the end of the stream. It's kind of annoying. But anyway, so this tile pair worker, I guess let's go back down to the workers and figure that out. So really all this does is, instead of adding things to the pair queue, I would just create an entity. Thank you, OBS. And so the rest of this I don't need at all. Okay, and so this is saying, oh yeah, so if we have an odd number of tiles, then the last tile will just be paired with itself. Okay, and yeah, we still need the buffer, but we can just get rid of all that stuff. And we don't need the queue. Okay, so let's make a function. Private void create pair entity and tile A, tile B. Okay, and I guess we'll need to have the what's it called, archetype for this entity. So entity archetype, tile pair archetype, and okay, so the entity equals so this is, oh yeah, so this is an iJob, which means it's not executed in parallel, which is, yeah, the reason it's not is because we have to use the random sequence, which can't be done in parallel. So I don't have to worry about concurrent command buffers, which is makes things slightly simpler. This is buffer.create entity and then the archetype. I was hoping it would just give me the archetype. Pair archetype. And then we've got to set the component. Alright, and so now all I have to do is I'll create pair entity. Why is that not working? It's right there. Maybe it's just getting confused because I'm messing with the syntax. Why is it not like this? Cannot convert from tile position to int. Okay, so all I need to do is just pass item.index. Okay, and then this just returns the unpaired tiles. My bitrate is still really bad. I do apologize. I don't really know. Again, I'm not sure why this is happening. I just want to finish this class, and I think that's done. So yeah, so we'll need to test this later on. I'll do it tomorrow, and then we'll work on the image assigner and go from there. Downloading. Yeah, so this will like download or figure out what images to assign to tiles, and then something else will then go download them. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Again, I'm sorry for the last 15 minutes. I'm not sure why my internet decides to give out at the end of some of my streams. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the sprite doodle shader, and we got a little bit done on this project too, so not a bad stream. But again, thanks everybody for coming by and watching, and I'll put some links in chat if you'd like to talk to me off stream. I have a Discord and Twitter and YouTube and everything. And you can also check in my YouTube channel description if you're watching from there. And I think that's about it. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll work some more on this game. And until then, have a great night.